Hello, everybody, and welcome into week 4 of my season 3 run in the Sky Pillar Stadium in the Articuno division. My name is Ballhawk, and this week we played Austin, and we were set with a goal to see if we could continue our run of 6-0s. We had 3 in a row, getting to a 3-0 record with a plus 18 differential. Probably never going to happen again. Yeah, we were charged with trying to keep that going this week against Austin. So let's hop into the team we're bringing this week. Starting things off with I Could Be Your Girlfriend and Mega Dancy. Mega Dancy's gonna run with a Calm Mind, Earth Power, Moonblast, and Diamond Storm this week. Just keeping it kind of simple, going with a naive nature and just max speed, max special attack. Let's see here. I gotta bring up his team again real quick. I gotta start remembering to keep their teams up so I can give you a rundown of what exactly I'm facing so my builds make a little more sense here. But while I'm stalling bringing up this team, I thought I was going to have something a little more meaningful to say, but I don't, so bear with me. Let's see here. Austin. What is your team? You are the Chesapeake Chimchars, I believe. Here we go. Alright. Nope. That's Jake. Austin. With the Umbrians. Almost there. I swear. I almost had it. There we go. Alright, here's Austin's team. Alright, I'm going to read it off. He's got Mega Golade, Togekiss, Kyurem, Magnezone, Landorus Incarnate, Slowking, Torkoal, Venusaur, Dusknoir, Excelgor, and Murkrow. So, I don't have my matchup sheet in front of me, so I can't, I guess, give the EV spreads exactly the exact purpose behind all of them, but I'll give you a quick rundown. So, going against Mega Gallade, that's the reason why I decided to go max speed with Mega Diancie. At the very least, I wanted to force a speed tie because I am bringing webs this week, but in the case that I wasn't able to get them up, I wanted to be able to at least force a speed tie, and that could have been something that caused that decided the game potentially. And then the rest of it was pretty simple. There wasn't really anything else to do. I just wanted to maximize my special attack output and give a little bit of extra oomph for that last 4 EVs into the attack for Diamond Storm. Moving on to Quit Bugging Me. Vikavolt is going to hold the leftovers with the Levitate ability. We're going to run Sticky Webs, Volt Switch, Air Slash, and Roost. The goal for Vikavolt this week is to get webs down and just kind of be a nuisance. The Air Slash is there for the Mega Gallade and Venusaur and Excelgor, I guess, but maybe mainly those two, just to be able to catch them off guard, possibly. I was really preparing hard for Sun in this matchup, so a lot of my builds were predicated upon that. In hindsight, I guess I kind of had some tunnel vision. This is post game, by the way. Had a little bit of tunnel vision on the Sun coming into this matchup, but for good reason, because the Sun is just so good with Torkoal and Venusaur. Trying to hit that 157 speed mark to outspeed something at base speed. I don't remember exactly what it was. And then putting max special attack and then leftover 116 EVs into HP with a modest nature. That's all I have to say about Quit Bugging Me. Moving on to BBM of Fireball. I'm going to hold the Salic Berry with the Sheer Force ability. And we're going with a little bit of a different set to see if we can catch him off guard. This is something that I kind of had the anticipation it was either going to win me the game or just, be a waste of a body on my team, essentially. I really need... Now I'm realizing that I didn't even give this thing a nature. You're welcome, Austin. That didn't really have too much impact on the final outcome, but anyway... I knew I was going to have to set up with this early on in the game just to give myself a chance. If they manage to get Venusaur in and one, get Venusaur in free. That spells a lot of trouble for me. But if I'm able to get Darmanitan in before, let's say, Venusaur is able to set up, or Mega Gallade is able to set up, and I'm able to set up first, Darmanitan will just run away with the game if I'm able to get the Belly Drum with the substitute up and get that speed boost. Nothing besides maybe a Scarfed Landorus would have been able to beat this. So this was something that I was kind of saving in my back hip pocket, and at the very least it gives coaches something else to think about when they look at my team. But I still have a few more weeks to perfect this set. I think it has a lot of potential, and I just wanted to try something different with Darmanitan. Had I been able to get the setup done correctly, this could do a lot of damage to my opponent this week. So bringing Subsalic Darmanitan. Next up we got Miss Dumpty holding the Violite with the Natural Cure ability. Moves are going to be Seismic Toss, Teleport, Soft Boiled, and Stealth Rock. Basically just cut and dry, basic Chansey set. Soft Boiled, Teleport. Teleport slow momentum is really good in this game. Stealth Rock just because he's fairly weak to rocks all across the board. And then Seismic Toss for reliable damage. Soft Boiled for reliable recovery. And nothing too special about Miss Dumpty this week. Just there to be a special wall. Basically, I'm forced to bring this week just because of the Sun Venusaur threat. If I don't bring this, Torkoal Venusaur just runs through my entire team. So I definitely needed to bring Chansey. I was debating on not bringing it at all in my mocks leading up to this game. But after one mock, my opponent brought Torkoal Venusaur and I didn't have an answer. I had no switch-ins. And Chansey gives me the ability to, one, switch in, and then two, heal back any HP that it might have lost in the switch-in. And eventually, it'll heal back more HP than it will take from damage from Venusaur and the Sun. So Miss Dumpty is a must bring this week. Even though I was hoping to give that slot to something else, I need the defensive backbone coming into this game. Fifth on the team, we've got Starscream holding these choice specs, running Draco Meteor, Psychic, Ice Beam, and Mystical Fire. The sheer amount of coverage on Latios this week is pretty great, and so I wanted to maximize that. Mystical Fire threatens his entire team, especially if the Sun is up. Nothing on his team really wants to take a Mystical Fire, and it hinders his special attackers, which is really nice as well. Ice Beam can deal with Landorus and Togekiss pretty nicely. Draco Meteor just kind of destroys everything that isn't Togekiss. And then Psychic is there for Venusaur and Gallade to an extent. Just straight speed. The reason why a couple of these sets are just straight speed, max speed, and then the rest going into offense, just because the fact he's got a Mega Gallade and a lot of the speeds line up, like Latios and Mega DNC. And that's maybe a flaw in my draft, having two Pokemon at the same 110 speed tier. But the fact that he's got Mega Gallade kind of forces me to do that this week. It's not ideal, but it's something that we just have to do. And finally, finishing up with Captain Marvel, holding the Flame Orb, going back to the Marvel Scale Burnt reliable set with Ice Beam, Flip Turn, Recover, and Toxic. 252 HP, 200 EVs in defense with a relaxed nature, and 56 EVs into special defense. The idea here is to Toxic and again slow momentum into Starscream or Mega DNC or Darmanitan, looking for an opportunity to set up. So nothing special about Captain Marvel this week, just looking to get some reliable usage out of it and get us into a good position offensively to fire off some strong attacks. And that is the team for the matchup against Austin. Let's hop into the replay. Alright, so here we are, and we're playing with a new layout in the showdown background. Credit this when I saw this on AU Rick's thread, and this looks pretty sweet, being able to bring in the Shield Battle Stadium background into here, so absolutely had to do it for mine. So cool layout, hope you like it, and that's what we're going to be using moving forward. So the first thing that caught my eye when looking at the team preview is no Torkoal, no Venusaur. So half my team was built around the idea of having to face that, so that was kind of a big letdown when I saw that. But Kyurem was definitely something that was very threatening. I had a mock before this, I think about a couple of hours before this, and a sub-roost Kyurem really just kind of shut me down, and I was able to play around it somewhat in my mock. but I don't think I gave it enough, or I don't think I paid it enough respect, and I definitely should have adjusted my team, accordingly. But yeah, no, this is what we were. This is not exactly what we were expecting. Magnezone expected. I didn't expect to see Dusknoir or Kyurem. I thought it was going to be Mega Gallade, Magnezone, Slowking, Landorus, and Torkoal Venusaur. But this is what we were faced. So I don't even remember what I let off. So we're just gonna have to play and let it roll. Leads off with Landorus. Not a great matchup to start. Alright. So this is something that I didn't catch right there. So, okay, so I'm going to pause it. That may seem insignificant moving forward. Like at the start of the game, the fact that he just switched Landorus out totally went, over my head. I didn't grab onto that fact, and it plays a big part into the end of the game. One thing to pay attention to is on things like, or the things that get momentum moves. If they've already revealed it, and later in the game they just switch out like that, there's no reason for the trainer to do that unless they can't use their momentum move again. So right there, that definitely should have triggered something in my head that, okay, he's choice locked. The question then becomes, is he choice Specs, or is he choice Scarf? So that's something that should have been playing in my mind. Most of the time that's going to be choice Scarf, but I don't remember what I was doing at the time, but I was kind of battling a little bit. What's the word? I wasn't really. I was distracted, I guess, is what I'll say. And that didn't register in my head. It should have. But that plays a big role in the end game here. So just one thing to keep in mind when you're battling. I know nerves and stuff are hard to battle on their own sometimes, but try to pay attention to the play style of your opponent, because things like that can definitely help your thinking, your thought process later on in the game, and can help you steer the end game a little bit better than what I did here. So I'll go ahead and hit play again. So we know his Landorus is choice locked right now. Battling I didn't, but hindsight, I know that he's choice locked. So, and at this point, I believe I decided to try and set up. Yep. Again, that was a bit of a misplay, because I really needed to get rid of the rocks, and I didn't bring a method of getting rid of the rocks. So the fact that he got stealth rocks up really just kind of screwed my whole Darmanitan setup big time. And at this point now, I'm in big trouble, because Kyurem is free to set up a substitute, and I don't have any way to break it without sacrificing a lot from my team. So yeah, I attempt to break it with, I think I switched something out here. I think I got Dragon Tail on this, maybe? Didn't I? No, I did not. At least I don't believe so. I don't think I do. At one point I was playing around with Dragon Tail on my low tick. But yeah, as you can see, I also forgot that Seismic Toss isn't based on the user's HP. It's just based on what level they're at. So it's a common misconception. It plays into the HP, which just because it does a steady amount of HP each turn, it's not a roll. And that's something that confused me a little bit at the time. For some reason I thought it did some damage based on how much HP the user had, but incorrect. It's always going to do 100 base damage in this setting in a draft where you're all set at level 100. So another thing to keep in mind going forward, I really played this game sloppy when I'm looking back on it. But I don't say that to mean like I threw this game. Austin definitely played very well and deserved the outcome of this game. But yeah, just two things to remember. One, choice select items and the way they play with them. And two, Seismic Toss is a set 100 base damage and not based on your user's HP. So that was the whole reason why I switched to Deancey here, is I thought I'd be able to get past his substitutes, but Kyurem is fat and has over 100 base HP as well, so it's able to set up its roost or its substitutes so that way it's not going to take that, or my my seismic tosses aren't going to break through his substitutes. So, and at this point, I had to basically sacrifice Latios to have a shot at breaking Kyurem here. I literally had no other choice. If I wasn't able to break his sub, I lost the game outright. So this was the only play that I had. Fortunately, Latios was able to get the kill. And so one monster's out of the way, but now we have to deal with Mega Gallade. So, and Mega Gallade also has substitute here, so very unfortunate. I was hoping that Air Slash would be, or yeah, I did break the substitute. Okay, that was why we brought Air Slash, was for Mega Gallade. But anyway, I figured he'd just teleport here. I was wrong. Definitely should have just gone for another Moonblast. And there, you know, clearly he's scarfed. There's no way the Landorus should be able to outspeed Mega DNC unless it's scarfed. Another thing that what I ultimately should have done is I needed to preserve my my Chansey after I realized that Landorus was scarfed. Had I preserved Chansey, I still had a chance in the end here, just because Landorus wouldn't have been able to do as much as Chansey. And this rock slide miss was unfortunate. It would have picked up the KO, however, it as well was a misplay on my part. Doing Calc's hindsight, Fire Punch did actually more than Rock Slide. Or they both picked up the KO here on Gallade regardless, but my thought process in going for Rock Slide here was to be able to catch Landorus had he opted to switch it out, anticipating an Earthquake or something like that. But doing Calc's hindsight, Fire Punch actually ended up doing more to Landorus anyway, so it was kind of a moot point and didn't matter. So misplay, unfortunate side effect of hitting Rock Slide. There's a miss. They tend to miss, but it should have come down to that anyway. Wouldn't really change anything in the end, just because everything's kind of chipped down low enough for Landorus to just finish them off. But it might have made things a little more interesting, possibly. And at this point, it's just Landorus finishing it off. So, GG, Austin. Well played. I'm a bit disappointed in the way that I played this game. I feel like I didn't give the team that I built justice. I definitely could have made some plays much better. There are three main things that I wanted to take away from this one. Was one, pay attention for the scarf or for the choice locked items. That probably would have made a huge difference in the end game. And had I kept that in my mind, I probably would have tried to preserve Chance a little bit better. Two, remember what Seismic Toss does. And three, always go for the, if you're guaranteed a kill, go for the safest accuracy move. Darmanitan going for Fire Punch was definitely the play there. But yeah, not only did we lose our first Pokemon of the season, we also picked up our first loss. So we are now 3-1 with a plus 16 differential overall. And we are in second place, I believe. I believe we're in second or third place in the division. So, but anyway, well played to Austin. Definitely a team to look out for towards the end of the season as we get closer to playoffs. But looking ahead, we've got Vaxo, and this is another good coach. He was the Zapdos Division runner-up, and Austin is actually no, Jake was the Zapdos Division champion, who we 6-0'd the previous week. So, looking to get the Zapdos champion coach sweep this next week. So stay tuned for week 5, and I want to thank you guys for tuning in. And happy holidays. I'll see you next time. Peace.